Hello and welcome to a Talmud Israeli production. Today we'll review the highlights of this week's course of Daf Yomi study, Masechet Gittin, pages 40 through 46, Mem through Mem Vav. 40. Misha Amar Bishat Mitato. If a Jew says on his deathbed, Plonit Shivchati, my Canaanite maidservant, Al Yishtabdu Balachar Moti, I don't want her to have to work for you folks after I die. Meaning, I want her to get her freedom. So we coerce the heirs of this man to then write a writ of emancipation, a get shichrur, for this Canaanite maidservant, and then she will fully go free in the legal sense. This is something that many people would do in the ancient world, and even in the not too distant past in America, where if they had a nice relationship with a certain slave, they would want that person, that slave, to not have to live the life of a slave person, but rather as a free person after this owner died. And so they would say, when I'm gone from the world, this is what I want you to do, and there's a solemn obligation for the next generation to carry through on those wishes. Mem Aleph, 41. Misha chetzi ovid v'chetzi ben chorin. If a person is half slave and half free, meaning they had two owners, and one of the two owners emancipated that Eved Kanani, so now he is looking forward to full emancipation, but doesn't have it yet. He still has an owner who will not give him that emancipation. What do we do? How do we resolve this guy's problem? Ovidus Rabo Yom Echad, Atzma Yom Echad. He'll work one day for his master, and the next day work for himself. Flip-flopping days between working for his boss and working for himself. So says Beit Hillel. However, Beit Shammai tells Beit Hillel, Tikantam es Rabo, you solve the problem of the owner who owns 50% of this guy's work, that he'll still get 50% of the work. However, Atzmon Tikantam, you did not resolve the personal status problem of the guy who's the slave himself. Lisa Shivcha Yevshir, he cannot marry a Canaanite slave girl because he's half free, which means he's half a Jew, and a Jew can't marry a Shivcha Canaanite. As for Bat Chorin, as for marrying a regular Jewess, sure, he can't do that because he's half slave. He's still Chetzio Eved. So he can't marry this type of person. He can't marry that type of person. He's doomed to be alone without a matrimonial partner in his current state of being. And that's bad because the world was created Lepria Revia, for being fruitful and multiplying, not to be welter and waste and to be empty. So something must be done to change this man's status. Rather, Kofin es Rabo, Vosota ben Chorin. We force, for the reasons of Tikkun Olam, perfecting the world, we force the owner to release this guy, and the slave has to promise to pay back half his value to his former owner. So it's a deal, you go free, but you're going to owe me your half of your value, which I'm entitled to. Having heard the criticism of their position, Beit Hillel then retracted their position and ruled like Beit Shammai that we forced the remaining owner to free this half-slave, half-free individual. Membet, 42. Hakotav kol nechasav la'avdo. If you write over all your possessions in your will to your Canaanite slave, yatzelacherus, he goes free because after all he's one of the possessions and he's getting them, so he's getting himself, he's getting his freedom. Shir karka kol shul yatzelacherus. However, if the owner leaves behind in his own possession or the possession of his estate even a small parcel of land, then that slave does not go free. Rabbi Shimon Omer Lolam ben Chorin. Rabbi Shimon says, no, the guy will go free even if you leave over a parcel of land, because that parcel of land is a distinct entity, and he, the slave, is not part of that parcel of land, so he's going free with everything else. However, when will the slave not go free? If the master were to say, you get everything except for except for 1/10,000th of my estate. Because it's possible that 1/10,000th, which was never clarified as to what it is, actually refers to the slave himself. And since the slave might not be getting himself, therefore he doesn't get emancipated in the process. Mem Gimel, 43. If you sell your Canaanite slave to a heathen owner, or to an area beyond the borders of Eretz Yisrael, Yatza ben Chorin, the halacha is he goes free. Why? This is a rule that the authorities of Judaism impose upon the Jewish slaveholders because we do not want an Eved Kanani who's a quasi-Jew and is obligated to perform mitzvot and be a monotheist to go into the hands of the heathens or to go outside of the borders of Eretz Yisrael. We want him to remain an Israeli. However, despite the fact that he goes free in the technical sense, he has to secure a writ of emancipation from that original owner, just to finalize the deal. Mem Dalet 44. Timei Tara Shel Chavero. What happens if you were tameh, you were impure, and your fellow had pure foodstuffs, whether truma, mice, whatever it might be, even chulin, you had pure foodstuffs, and the impure man starts touching, rummaging through the food which was taharot, which was pure. And now, especially if it's truma, it can't be eaten in a state of impurity. So the food becomes almost worthless. It had great value, it was good food, and now nobody could eat it. So this person who was impure did damage to the financial situation of the owner of the produce. What happens? Is he punished? So, Timei Taras Chaver Vames, Lo Kansu Rabbanan B'no Achrob. Yes, we will, under rabbinic law, punish the guy who touched the foodstuffs because he injured another party. Not in a noticeable sense, but in the financial sense. However, we're not going to punish his heirs. Meaning, if the guy died and now his heirs, his children, are wondering, do we have to pay back this guy whose produce daddy touched? The answer is no. Why not? Because it's hezek shenonikar. It's not a physically noticeable damage. It's only in an abstract sense that it went from being tameh from tahor to tameh, but you don't notice that physically when looking at it. So when it comes to hezek shenonikar, we punish the primary party who did the damage, but not the heirs after him. Memhe 45. We do not redeem captives for more than their actual value. Tikkun olam, because of tikkun olam. We want to perfect the world. That there's a problem in the world if you were to dramatically overpay ransom for a Jew who was captured by the heathens. Now the question is, what is this problem in the world that we're trying to avoid? So uh, the answer is very simply that if the heathens know you'll pay top dollar for one Jew, then they'll keep doing it. They'll keep stealing Jews off the street, knowing that we'll pay an enormous amount of money to secure their freedom. So it's an incentive for them to keep doing it. It's a disincentive if we won't pay. Then in we're not supposed to try to free captive prisoners by facilitating an escape because of Tikkun Olam. What's the Tikkun Olam? So Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, no, it's not a question of Tikkun Olam, it's Tikkun HaShvuyim. We're protecting the other captives. So what's the machloket here? One perspective is that if we facilitate the escape of prisoners, they'll try to just capture more people. The other perspective is if we facilitate the escape of prisoners, the current prisoners in the prison, in the incarcerated area, will then be punished and tortured because one guy escaped. And in the Shoah, that was definitely true. Whenever there was an escape, the Nazis would take it out at vengeance against those who remained behind. Memvav 46. If a person sells himself and his sons into slavery working for the heathens, we do not redeem them because he did a wrong thing to sell himself to the Ovdei Kochavim. And we don't want to reward bad behavior. However, we will redeem the sons who themselves did nothing wrong after the father dies. So in the father's lifetime, we won't do it, but when he's out of the picture, he who did wrong, then we'll rescue those who did nothing wrong themselves. Everyone have a great week.